Hey, what's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another Screw Toy action figure review. And today we're going to be looking at a first timer in this channel, and that is a Revoltech Amazing Yamaguchi figure, which is the Iron Spider reissue. Now, this is the second release of this figure. The first time around, it was released about a year or two ago, and it was a big success. It was a big hit, and it sold out and doubled, tripled in the aftermarket. I initially did not pick this figure up because around that time that this figure was released, the Marvel Legends released their own version, but that figure was a piece of shit. I hate that figure. I hated it so much that I got rid of it like immediately after I opened it and reviewed that figure. So I was not a fan of that. And then, yeah, I was pretty upset that I skipped on this one. So it's nice that Amazing Yamaguchi has come around and re-released this figure. I don't have the original figure, like I said, so I won't be able to do any comparisons. So yeah, this is just me going straight into this figure blindly, not knowing if there's any differences. So I do apologize about that. I wish I could have got my hands on the original so I could do a fair comparison. But this is just pretty much a review of the reissue. So yeah, excited to review this, man. Like I said, I don't have any Revoltech figures in my collection. There's a few that I've been meaning to pick up, like the Agent Venom. I skipped out on that one, and yeah, that's one that I highly regret. Hopefully they do the same thing with that figure like they did with this one, which is reissue it. But as of now, let's get a quick look at the packaging, which is a windowless packaging. They have moved away from the windows. Previously, you could see the figure and some of the accessories that came in the box. Now it's just a sleek windowless packaging, which is nice. I really do like it. You get a product image right there, a nice matte gray, like tech looking gray color right there, and then you get over here Kyoto, which is the company that does this line. You get some Japanese or Chinese words, I'm not sure, sorry for my ignorance. You get the name of the line, Revoltech Amazing Yamaguchi, the name of the character right there, Iron Spider. On the side you get some more product images right there, Marvel Spider-Man, Kyoto. On the back you get a whole bunch of promo images and some of the accessories that come with this figure. Some stuff down here, Marvel logo, a barcode right there. And then you get the name of the line, the name of the character. On top, you get the logo of the character, which right there is Marvel Spider-Man. The name of the company. On bottom, you get Revoltech and a QR code, which I'm not sure what that is for. Oh, it says online store. So probably takes you to the online store. Whole bunch of stuff down here, warnings. And yeah, man, pretty simple packaging. But we're not here for the packaging. We're here for the figure. So let's crack this bad boy open. And now getting a quick look at all the accessories that this figure does come with. He does come with a very nice instruction manual, and I love when companies include stuff like this so you know how to work your figure and not break it, since these figures are pretty pricey. They're not cheap. So yeah, breaking a figure would not be nice, as yeah, they're not cheap. So it shows you kind of how to work this figure, how to swap the hands, how to put the web accessories, how to port the the Waldos, the Iron Spider arms. And it also shows you that you can add a fourth leg if you will like. I know in the MCU he does have 4 spider legs, but in the comics he only had 3. But you can add a fourth leg by using one of these adapters right here. So what you do is you plug one of the Revoltech joints that comes here in the extra accessories. You plug it in the center, you plug it in the back, and then you plug the arms in these little ports on the sides. And you can add a extra fourth arm if you would like. It also shows you can add the legs and joints and the arms that the arms do have these holes that you can port extra joints, legs, whatever you want to. Down here it shows that you can make a pincer for those arms. At the end of the arm you could just remove the little claw, add one of these, and then plug the claw on each side, so you can make it a claw if you like. And then it just shows you how to do that third arm thing right there, or the fourth arm thing right there, just zoomed in. Down here shows you that you can use the stand in multiple ways. So you do get a stand over here, and it's a clear plastic stand. What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A octagon, a elongated octagon. Is that even a word? But yeah, you get a octagon shaped base right here with multiple ports, and then you get the arm, and then you get the claw and the extra Revoltech joints for the extra pincers and the fourth arm and whatever you want to use them in case you break one. You have extras right here. You get 2, 4, 6 extra joints, so that is nice. And then you get the little claw for the stand. Now the multiple use for the stand, it's pretty dope. So you obviously can do the basic, base, arm, claw, and then wrap that claw around the figure's waist, crotch area, whatever you want to hold them up in whatever way. Or you cannot use the claw at all and just plug the stand straight into the back of the figure. If I bring the figure over here, without dropping stuff, he does have a porthole right there where the stand directly connects to the figure, so that is nice. Another cool thing that I saw is that you get this extra piece right here, and it is a clear translucent plastic with a magnet at the end. And what you can do is put that claw on the clear translucent plastic, and this will connect to any metal you have on your display. So any detofs, you can actually just boop, pop it on there and it'll hold the figure up, which is pretty cool. I really like this quite a bit. I'm gonna probably end up using it for one of my other figures to display in my detof. This magnet is very, very strong. I tried it on some metal and it actually ended up pulling the magnet out of the plastic, so I had to kind of shove it back in there. So yeah, just be careful when doing that. But yeah, nice array of assortments for just the base itself and some extra pieces for your figure. Pretty strong offering so far as of now. Now getting a quick look at all the hands that he does come with throughout the packaging. He does come with a set of fists. He also does come with these open, wide palmed hands, and they're just gesturing hands. They're not the wall crawling hands, because he does come with a pair of those, and we'll see those in a second. But these are just kind of open, expressive hands, and I do like them. It gives them a little bit more character, gives some options, and they're pretty dope. And here are the wall crawling hands. As you can see, they're a little bit more spread open, a little bit more wide. The fingertips are a little bit more curled. And yeah, man, these are unmistakably the wall crawling hands. And the last set of hands that he does come with are the thwipping hands. You obviously can't have a Spider-Man figure without a pair of thwips. I feel like every Spider-Man figure should have a pair of thwipping hands, a pair of fists, and a pair of wall crawling hands. And thankfully we did get all of those with this figure, plus the extra open expressive hands. These hands are pretty dope. The only complaint I have about them is that I feel like all the pairs of hands should come with a pair of sprues, similar to what Mafex does. Have those little sprues connected to the set of hands to keep those portholes open and they won't shrink. So when you're pegging them onto the figure, they're easily put on and they slide in smoothly. These hands, or the whole set of hands, were a very, very tight fit on those pegs, and I was scared I was going to snap one of those pegs and break it. And unfortunately, we don't get any other color replacement pegs other than gray. So if you snap that wrist peg, you're going to have to replace it with a gray one that we get with the replacements. And this is not going to look good because it's going to be, a different color from the red and the gold. And yeah, that's the only complaint I have about the hands, is I wish they came with the little sprues to keep those little peg holes open. But yeah, these pair of whipping hands have a little bit of a surprise in them. You get a porthole in the center or at the bottom of the palm, and those peg holes are for the only webs that he comes with, and they peg really, really tightly as well. I had to really shove them in there, and I was scared I was going to break that peg. So I just wish that Revoltech would find a way to kind of keep those portholes open, just so it won't be such a tight squeeze, man, because I'm scared I'm going to break those pegs. And yeah, I was actually really, really scared putting those in. So I don't think I'm ever going to peg them back in. I'm just going to throw those webs in the packaging and they'll never come back out. But they're interesting, man. These aren't your typical Spider-Man webs. They're very much stylized, as Amazing Yamaguchi is known to be a very stylized company. They don't do things very normally. All their figures are very, much stylized. So it's no surprise that these webs are out of the ordinary. They don't look like your typical Spider-Man webs. They kind of look like symbiote goop in white. So yeah, don't really care for them. I probably won't ever use them, but they're pretty dope to have, I will say that. And the last accessory that does come with this figure are the Spider-Man mechanical arms, and you get 4 of these. And they're pretty dope, man. They're very, very well detailed. I love the paint. The chrome on this legs are amazing. It's a nice metallic gold, as it should be. It's not a gold plastic molded into the arms. You actually get some gold paint, and I love the details, all the wires and the spikes. They're dope, man. Yeah, just a lot of detail and a lot of a nice attention to detail. That's the best way I could put it. One thing I will say, I'm not a big fan of the joints being in a gray color. I wish they would have been done in a gold color as well, or even a yellow plastic similar to what we saw on the wrist pegs on Spider-Man. But these are pretty dope, man. Like I said, you get a whole bunch of detail. They're not just one solid slick piece like the Marvel Legends one. You actually get the mechanical wires and all that weird piping that's very comic accurate to this character and this design. So yeah, man, anywhere you look at this leg, you see some nice detail. Like right there, you see some, nice sculpted detail in there. You get the little rivets and everything. Yeah, man. Big fan of these. And again, you get four, although he never uses four in the comic. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think he ever uses four. It's always just three legs. But yeah, you get four of them, and they're all exactly done the exact same way. So yeah, man, pretty dope. And here we have the man himself, Peter Parker, the man that's all business, no games. And this is a beautiful figure, man. There's some things that I'm not a big fan of. Yes, I do not like the style and design of Amazing Yamaguchi. It's very blocky, it's very broken up, it's very gappy in some areas. It's just not my cup of tea. But when it comes to a character like this that's very dynamic, moves around, it's very flexible, he's known to be getting into some crazy poses, this figure works, you know what I mean? When a character is, very dynamic and you can bend them to all hell, then this is where Amazing Yamaguchi shines. And I think it's perfect for this figure, man. I don't think any company would have done this figure any better. Maybe Mayfex, but overall, he's a solid figure. And while, yes, again, I'm not a fan of the Amazing Yamaguchi style, I do like this figure quite a bit. Getting a quick look at him, it's pretty simplistic. There's not much to him. A lot of reddish, maroonish color and some gold. And yeah, man, he is very nicely detailed. The head is very accurate to what we see in the comics. I do think it's a little undersized. I think it should be just a tad bit bigger. But overall, I'm a pretty big fan of it. It's, again, a little pea-sized for my liking. I think the head should have been just maybe like 1%, 2% bigger. But overall, pretty dope. I love that the lenses are risen and not just painted on there. And yeah, it just really adds more contrast and more depth to it. The back, you get that very nice plating because, even the head has some articulation. As Amazing Yamaguchi is known to be, some people say overboard on articulation. The neck is really nicely sculpted. It is a bit long, but again, it helps with the articulation. The hands are nicely done. You do get these big joints right there that stick out a bit. But again, that is their style. I think the gauntlets are done nicely. That same shiny metallic matches throughout. It's no different shades of gold. It's all done in the same gold paint. So you get this very nice gauntlet, these very nice shoulder pads. The Iron Spider logo right here is done very, very well. It even travels perfectly all the way to the back to where the legs connect. Moving down to the rest of the body, not much to see other than, just some maroon reddish color. You do get the Marvel logo right there, so that does show that it is authentic. Again, I didn't mention in the beginning of the video, but I did get this figure from Ami Ami. Moving down to the thighs, you get this very nice muscular detailed legs. Again, the proportion, it's not just the proportions and the way they engineer the figure, but just the detail is also very over the top. You get these very ripped legs, these very ripped abs, these very ripped arms and neck, and everything is very over exaggerated when it comes to Amazing Yamaguchi. You get some nice legs. The gauntlet or the shin guards are nicely done as well in a very nice metallic gold. The foot as well. And yeah, man, he's a pretty solid figure. No real complaints. Like, I knew what I was getting into. I knew that this was a style that was very different from what I collect. Like I said, Marvel Legends, Mayfex, SH Figure Arts. It has its own unique style. So I knew what I was getting into, and I knew I wasn't going to be the biggest fan of that part. So that doesn't take away from the figure that I don't like that style, because it is its own unique style. So, it's not trying to be like everybody else. It is doing its own thing. but I do like this figure quite a bit. I know I've said that quite a few times, but I think this is 10 times better than the Marvel Legends, man. And the only other people I think that can top it is the Mafex, and that's only because it's going to be a little bit more comic accurate. The proportions are going to be a little bit more comic-y, not this like anime-ish type of feel to it. And yeah, man, pretty solid figure. Gonna look at the legs again. They port fairly easy to the back of his little backpack right there. Right there, pops nicely. Getting in the other leg over here. Kind of have to push from the joint. Again, tight squeeze. And then over here, shimmy it in there. I have noticed that the left hand keeps popping off the wrist, so not sure why that is. That one is a bit loose. Compared to all the other hands, there was a very snug fit. That left fist does not want to stay in. And yeah, man, getting a quick look at him with all his arms. This just makes the figure 10 times better. I did play with it for a little bit before recording the figure portion of the video. So I have put these legs on and I have taken them off. And I put him in that pose where he's kind of, again, this figure, as you can see, he's kind of just falling apart on me. This figure is very, very finicky. Again, a thing that I went in knowing about Amazing Yamaguchi, you just have to handle this figure in such a certain way and manner, or you will break it or it will fall apart on you, and it can get a little overwhelming. But if you know what you're doing, then you shouldn't have an issue. But again, I did get him in that pose where the legs are kind of like holding him up, and I left him standing there like that in that position for about 20 something minutes while I watched some reviews on this guy on the first release to kind of see if there was any major differences, which I will talk about here in a second. And he actually stayed up, man. He stayed up for the whole time I was watching reviews and getting some more information on this figure and how to work it and stuff. And he stayed up in that position the whole time. Never fell, never like toppled over. I shook the table a little bit, kind of bumped into the table a couple of times mistakenly and purposely, and he stayed up in that position no problem. And it doesn't take long to really get him to get in this position. Like, yeah, you have to play with it for a little bit. Let me see. As you can see, boom, there you go. Like I said, once you get him in that position, man, he's not going anywhere. You don't really need a stand. You don't need anything to really hold him up. So very impressed by this figure, man. Like I said, this is this is my first Amazing Yamaguchi figure from Revoltech, and pretty impressed, man. I'm pretty damn impressed. But yeah, I kind of went a little far with the look at this figure. So next, let's get a quick look at articulation. Now, I did take off the rest of the arms for this section of the review, for the articulation section, because they all articulate the exact same way. Having it full out extended, it does go quite a way. You do have a ball joint here at the base that rotates a full 360 up and down. So you got a ball joint, and if you know how ball joints work, it's a lot of great range of movement there. You have another ball joint at the first section right here, and the same thing up and down, a full 360. It swivels. It doesn't really, this section right here, the little spike doesn't really hinder much articulation. So that is nice. Again, my major complaint is that the joints are in a gray color instead of a gold color, like the wrist and the ankles. Don't know why they decided to go in that color. Very interesting choice, but yeah, again, same movement you get at the base, you get here and here and here. So you get full range of motion of these arms compared to, again, the Marvel Legends, where you only got like one or two places that just hinged, didn't even rotate. Very shitty articulation on the legs. But yeah, man, you can extend them, you can bend them, do whatever you need to with these arms. So, and I keep popping them off when I rotate them, so that's one thing to note. When you rotate, they tend to pop off, but just be careful when doing it. You're able to do it, but you just got to do it with caution. Again, you're able to do the claw by removing this and using that little adapter that I showed in the beginning section of the accessory part of the review. Just plug that in and you can put 2 of the pincers, or you can add that a little accessory thing that I showed. Plug it here and you can plug multiple arms, so you can have the 4 arms instead of the 3. So that's how the arms work, the mechanical arms. I'm not sure what the proper name for those arms are called. I know in the MCU, I think Tom Holland calls them Waldos, and that's what's stuck. Now, I don't know if that's the official name of them, but that's the nickname they've been dubbed because of the MCU. Now, articulation, man, it's going to be very interesting. So, again, this isn't your typical action figure. It's a highly posable action figure. This is what this company is known for and what they do. So, the head is on a ball hinge, I believe. So it's a dumbbell joint that connects there. You get the separate neck piece to cover up the gaps. So he looks up all the way, dude. Like I said, he looks up very much up. And again, this does look like a really small P head. It almost has that SPDR design. So I wish it was just a little bit bigger. Making him look up really makes it stand out. But he looks all the way up. He looks a little bit down. Not the greatest, but he does look down. And you get that extra flat piece right there to cover up the gap. He does have a separate neck piece that connects to the body. With those two, he looks all the way down and all the way up. So great range of motion out of that neck. You get obviously side to side. So that is very, very nice. And all these joints, I do want to mention that they're very nice and snug. They're not tight. They're not overly tight. They're not overly loose. They're perfect. I like how they're very just perfect. You do have a very unique butterfly joint. This is one of the major things that I'm not a big fan of, how this piece kind of just overlaps on top of the chest. I think this chest area should be bigger and wider, and these should overlap underneath it and still get the same range of motion. You know what I mean? So I feel like this chest piece should really like be wider and stick like up and around these pieces, while this should be shifting on the inside of that chest plate. I think that's how they should do it, because it gets really broken up when you do it like that. So it does shift forward and back, up and down. So that is nice. You have a weird joint right there. I don't know how to explain that joint. But yeah, you get a lot of movement out of that shoulder and chest area and rib area. So that it's a lot of motion there. You get a ball joint at the shoulder, and you get a full 360 up and down. Another ball joint at the elbow. So you get a single joint at elbow, but look at that range, man. He bends that arm all the way in. That is amazing. So that's really impressive. Again, you get a rotation because it is a ball joint. Same ball joint or similar ball joint at the wrist. So you get up and down, full 360. However you want to move that hand, it's going to move. You get a diaphragm cut that goes all the way forward. Little ways back. It kind of gets hindered because of the back design. And then you get obviously side to side. So yeah. And then you get a full rotation if you like. Lower waist ball joint. So those two go all the way forward and all the way back, side to side. So yeah, that is nice there. You get upper thigh cuts, and it gets really weird because you have this weird thigh that kind of flares out to the side. I don't know how well you could see it on camera, but yeah, it's a very weird design, the way it kind of just flares out to the side. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't just make it sleek like that, but it does shift up and or side to side. And then you get a ball joint at the hip, and he can kick out this much to this side. So actually, god damn, he can kick all the way out to the side, bro. That is insane. Shit, let me see if I can get it to move back normally. Again, it's really finicky, man. So if you don't know what you're doing, you probably could break this figure quite easily. He has a single jointed knee with that ball joint, and if you bend it, it does get really, really gappy. But the cool thing is the kneecap is articulated. That is insane, dude. That is insane. He has a little ball joint, and it just goes up, or it swivels, and it covers up that ball joint. So not perfectly, but it does cover it up. Just insane. And then he does have a boot cut right there, a ball joint at the boot. So it rotates, moves side to side. It moves weird, man. It's just a weird motion right there at the shin that shouldn't be happening, or shouldn't move like that in a regular human. But this is an action figure, so it moves however the fuck it wants. You do get a ball joint at the ankle that moves all the way forward, all the way back, pivot, and then you do get toe articulation, so that is nice. So really solid articulation out of this figure, should be expected. It's an amazing Yamaguchi. And yeah, man, while it is unique, some of it is not the best. It could be engineered better. It does its job of what it's supposed to do. So yeah. Now getting a quick limb size comparisons. Here we have Spider-Man next to the Mafex Classic Spider-Man and the Mezco Classic Spider-Man 2.0. Here he is next to the Marvel Legends Retro Carded Ben Reilly Scarlet Spider using the Renew Your Vows body mode next to the Retro Carded Target exclusive first appearance Spider-Man. And as you can see, he fits perfect within this line. It doesn't match quite perfectly stylistically, but size-wise, it does fit perfectly within Marvel Legends, even Mafex and Mezco. And last but not least, here we have him next to the classic Mafex Iron Man and the 20th anniversary retro carded Unparalleled Universe Captain America. And there you have it, an amazing release by Amazing Yamaguchi, Kyoto, Revoltech. This figure is just, it's dope as fuck, man. I don't know how to put it in any other words other than this figure is a very dope ass figure. Now, for me to go out of my way and buy a figure that I know stylistically I don't like and won't match any of the other figures in my collection, it says a lot. It says a lot because I stick to just Marvel Legends, Mafex, SH Figuarts. I don't go out of my way to buy any other company because I really don't care or like any of the other figures that other companies have to offer, especially Amazing Yamaguchi and Revoltech. It's just very, again, stylistically different, and I don't like their style. But this works, man. I really, really like how they did this Iron Spider. And I know lately they've been stepping up their game. They've been improving things. They've been changing their joints. They've been changing their bodies. Like the Deadpool, I think, the Deadpool 2.0. I don't have that figure, but I did see reviews on it, and I was like, damn, that's a dope-ass figure. Now, that's where it first started, and then the Iron Spider, and then Agent Venom. So those figures are some that I do want to pick up. I'm so glad I picked this Iron Spider up, man. It's just a dope-ass figure. I know I'm like 2 years late reviewing this figure, but it is the reissue. Now, I don't know if there's major differences. The only differences that I've noticed are, of course, the packaging. The first issue had the window packaging with the over stylistic packaging. I just wasn't a fan of that first packaging or the original packaging. Now it does have the windowless packaging, the new sleek design. I think the arms I've noticed are slightly different from the original ones. The tones between the wires and the little areas are a little bit different. I know the other ones where the wires at, the sheen was just slightly different, a little bit darker, a little bit more orangey, and this is more kind of consistent throughout the whole arm. And yeah, no real huge differences that I've noticed. But overall, man, this is an amazing pickup. I highly recommend that you guys pick it up if you can. I don't know if he's in stock anywhere else at the moment. I think he's pretty much sold out everywhere, but I'm sure there will be some restocks here and there. Again, pick it up if you can. The first release did sell out quite quickly, and then the aftermarket prices were insane. This time around, I don't know how it's going to go. I know Amazing Yamaguchi is getting up there in popularity. It was already a popular brand, but they just been knocking it out the park. And yeah, they've knocked it out the park with this one, Agent Venom, the Flash, the Reverse Flash. They've done quite a few bangers these last Moon Knight. They've done quite a few bangers these last year or two, and they're only getting better and better. So if you're able to pick it up, man, definitely pick this up. As of now, this is the definitive and best version of this character, Iron Spider. I just always loved this design. I've read comics then and there throughout my whole life, but one of the first full run that I ever read was the first Civil War. I remember reading that whole run and just was like, what the hell, man? Like, that's really what started my love for comics, because I've always been into Marvel media through movies, TV shows. My first introduction to Marvel was Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, that original cartoon. I used to watch that as a kid, and that's what started my love for Spider-Man and Marvel. But like my first real love for comics was that Civil War comic book run, and I love the design. I've always loved this design. So when they butchered it in the MCU, I wasn't a big fan of how that design looked. This is what I wish they would have went with, a little bit more comic accurate. And yeah, just happy to see some good representation of this costume, man, because Marvel Legends did not do a good job, man. I hate that figure. I absolutely despise that figure. It was one of my most disappointing figures of that year, I think, which was 2022. I want to say that was the 60th anniversary of Spider-Man. And yeah, man, was just highly disappointed by that figure. But enough of me rambling on, man. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. I'm almost at 3,000 subscribers. My goal has been to reach 1,000 every year since I've started my channel, and so far I've been able to hit that milestone every year. I don't know if we'll hit that this year. I'm hoping 3,000 subscribers by June 15th, which is my 3-year anniversary of YouTube. And I think I'm like not 200, like 120 subscribers short. So very close. Hopefully I can reach it by then. If not, I know we'll reach it soon. But thank you guys for watching. Again, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. It really does help this channel. I try to answer all the comments as much as I can. I do get a little bit busy then and there, so I don't post consistently and I don't answer comments consistently, but I do respond to all comments. So if you want to throw a comment down there and let me know what you think about this figure, how you feel about this figure, we're going to be picking it up. If you have the original release, if you notice any differences, let me know down in the comments below. Follow me on my Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. I'm not really active on my Twitter or my TikTok. Actually, I don't even think I have the Twitter app on my phone anymore. But I do use Instagram quite a bit. That's kind of how I talk to people and keep in touch with all the other YouTubers. And I post pretty consistently on my story and on my Instagram page. So do hit that follow on Instagram. The link to that is in the description down below. And I'll catch you guys next time, man. Peace.